In this video, we are going to create the profile of our road. In the previous video, we created the horizontal alignment of our road. So if you missed it, make sure you check that for that video so that you don't miss out. Now, the profile of the road is what is like the layout of our road, but in the vertical plane. What our road will appear, how it will appear in the vertical plane. So that will be the profile of our road. It can also be referred to as the vertical alignment of the road. There are some key considerations that we have to take note of when you are designing the profile of the road or the vertical alignment. Some of them could be, when you check on this image around here, you can see something like a hill. The cars are coming from this side and then another one is coming from the other side. So one of the things that you really have to take note of when you're designing the vertical alignment of the road is the sight distance, which is both the stopping sight distance and also the passing sight distance. Now, I'm not going to discuss much details of the sight distances, but this is something that you have to know about when you're designing your profile. So let's get back to Civil 3D and we see how we can create our vertical alignment. So back in Civil 3D, we are going to start by creating the existing profile for the road, which is the existing condition. Then after creating the existing condition, we shall now design our design profile. So let's start on that. So to create the existing profile of our road, you can click on this alignment and then click on surface profile. So when you click on that, it will bring for you a dialog for creating the surface profile of this road along that existing center line alignment. Another way how you can, I'm going to show you different ways how you can achieve the same. Another way how you can achieve the same, you can come to the Home tab under the Create Design panel. Then you click on the drop down on the profile. So when you click there, so you will see the first option as Create Surface Profile. So when you click on that, it will bring for you the same option as we had the other side. So let us just continue with this. You can choose to use whichever feels more comfortable for you. So the first thing, you're going to enter the alignment. So the alignment we are dealing with, for which we are generating the existing surface profile is the roadway alignment. If you have so many alignments and you want to choose it from the drawing area, you can click on this icon and then it will allow you to select it from the drawing area. So let me select it here. Though it is still the same thing, you can choose it from here if you have so many alignments. Then next we have the station range. So we want it to start from the beginning and then end at the last station. So we are starting from the start and then to the end station along the entire alignment. So don't change that. And then they're telling us to select the surface. So the surface in this drawing, they only have one surface, which is the EG surface. If we had so many surfaces, we would have to choose from which one we want. But we are selecting the EG surface. We are drawing it along that surface. So after that, just click on Add. After clicking on Add, you will see it being generated here. And then the next thing is you can either click on Draw in Profile View. When you click on this, it will directly be created in a profile view. Or if you click on OK, it will be created, but it will not be shown in a profile view. So when you click here, it will directly take you to the profile view. So for now, I want to show you both methods. So let's first click on OK, and we see, in case you had selected it like that, what you could do to put it in the profile view. Let's first check that. That is just information for you to read, but first ignore that. So in case you've taken on this part, in case you clicked OK and you want now to draw that surface profile in a profile view, what you would have to do next, you would have to come to the profile and section views panel, still on the home tab, and then you come here to profile view. When you hover your cursor there, you will see profile view. So when you click on that drop down, you will see create profile view. You click on that. When you click on that, it will bring for you a wizard for you to create the profile view. So we are not going to go through this wizard for now. I wanted to show you both methods of how to achieve the same. You can choose one of them, but don't use both. You can just choose one of them. I'm just showing you both methods. But for now, let me still first cancel this. So this is just something I wanted to show you, that in case you are creating your profile, let me first go through it very quickly here. The moment you click on draw in profile view, it will directly take you to the wizard of creating the profile view, drawing your surface profile in the profile view. But let me use the second option I was giving you. So let's now create the profile view. So to create the profile view, I've shown you two methods. In the other dialog, you could say creating profile view, and it will take you directly there. But let me use this option. So create profile view. When you say create profile view, it will bring for you this wizard, which is the same wizard you would get if you clicked on create in profile view. Here we have the general, so we have to select the alignment. In our project, you only have one alignment, so that is the alignment. So profile view name. So the profile view name, there's a template which will give us that. So let's just leave it like that. It will name it for us using that template. So to bring the parent alignment, which is roadway, then it will add the next counter, which will be 1. So we shall have roadway 1. Then the description. If you want to add a description, you could add the profile view style. If you want to change it, you can change it and put whichever fits you, but let's for now leave it as the default. Then, so you can try to change some of these settings to fit in what you want. Let us first go to next. The station range. Let's leave the station range to automatic. If you want a user specified range, you can click on this and then you specify your range. But for now, let's leave it automatic. Next. So next, we're going to have the profile view height. Still, let's leave this height as automatic. Otherwise, you can use a specified range. So let's leave it automatic, and then we go to next. So we have the profile display options. So if you want to draw this EG surface 1, which is the surface profile we created, you can, if you don't want to draw it, you can check on this, but we want it to be there. So just leave it the way it is. So leave it ticked so that it draws it in the profile view. And then when you go to next, so we don't have pipe and pressure networks in our design. So that's why this one is not showing. It's grayed out. So we have the data bands. For now, we may not have knowledge about the data bands. So let's first leave them. Let's just leave the defaults. Then the profile hatch. Let's leave all this as default and then say create profile view. Now, when you select on create profile view, Civil 3D will prompt you to select the profile view origin. So let us choose somewhere where it will not conflict with our existing drawing. So we move somewhere around here, then this is going to be the origin of our profile view. And when we click once with the left click, so Civil 3D will draw for you the profile view. So this is the existing surface profile of the road which is existing at that in this area, and then for our project, and then this is the profile view. So you can try to change the style of this profile view to fit in what you want. And this is the name of our profile view. So these are the bands, the data bands down here. We want to see how we can change the style of this profile view. So you can click on the profile view, and then you can come here and check on the profile view properties. When you come on the profile view properties, we have the information, we have the style. You can change the style. For now, I don't want to change the style, but if you want to change it, you can change it to something else. I don't want to take too much time on that. If you want to modify this style, you can click on this icon here, which will allow you to edit the style. So in here, you have the information, you have the graph. So you can alter some of these properties to fit in your needs if you really want to change it. So let me first leave it at that for now. If you want to change the name of this profile view, you can still change it. Right now it is roadway 1, but if you want, you can change it to something different. The stations, elevations. So some of these, we are not going to look at them for now. Let's first cancel this. So when you come back to this profile view, we can see that I want to increase the gap at the top. I want my profile view to extend a bit above this highest point here. So if I want to achieve that, I'm going to click on this. You can either right click and then choose edit profile view style. You can have it from here, edit profile view style, and it will automatically take you here. Or you can still achieve this same by clicking on this profile view and then go to profile view properties, and then this is the style, which is profile view, and then you edit it from here by clicking here. When you are there, I want us to change. These are the different tabs. Make sure you're on the grid tab, and then I want to increase the grid padding above the maximum elevation. Let us increase it by something like 2 meters. And then we might need to make some other changes also. The horizontal axis, we have the major, the interval, we have 20. Then we have the minor, the interval is 5 meters. Let's increase this one to 10 meters so that it looks a bit better. And then click on apply, and then click OK. And then click OK again to accept that. So you can see our profile view has changed now a bit. If you want to reduce this padding, you can still go back and reduce it. You can just click on this, right click, edit profile view style. You can go back to the grid, and then let's make it just 1 meter to be enough. Then click OK. So you can see it has reduced a bit, and I think this is fine right now. So we have successfully created the surface profile, and we have drawn it in the profile view. So what you see as the red line here is the surface profile, the existing surface profile. And then where it is drawn in this grid, this is the profile view. We are going to go ahead and we create our design profile. To create the design profile, we are still going to go to the Home tab, go to Profile on the Create Design panel, and then we are going to choose to select the Profile Creation Tools. So when you select that, it is going to prompt you to select the profile view where to create the profile, and then you should select this profile view. After selecting the profile view, you're going to have this dialog. The alignment is the roadway, and then the name. So you have a chance to change the name of this profile we are creating. So I'm going to call it the roadway. Let's call it the roadway design profile. So the roadway design profile, you can give it a description. So under the general, we have the profile view style. The profile style, you can still change this if you want, but I want you to just, for now, just leave it as the default. The label set, just leave it as the complete label set. You can choose to have no labels. Let's leave it at that. So on the next tab, we have the design criteria. So still, like in the horizontal alignment, there was an option for you to choose whether you want to use the design criteria or not. So in this case, I still want to use it so that I have my design criteria checked for as I'm designing. So you still have a chance to choose a design criteria file in case you have one that you want to use. But for now, I'm just using the default, which is the provided according to AASHTO. We are using the minimum K table provided in AASHTO 2011 standard. So in this study, I've not talked about design check set. So uncheck this and then just click OK to proceed. So when you click OK, it is going to give you that profile layout tools, similar to what we saw when we were creating the alignment. So some of these options almost look similar. So we're not going to spend so much time on this. You can just hover your cursor on them and you see what they represent. I think we saw something like that when you're creating the horizontal alignment. So we have the curve settings, and then we have draw tangent with curves, curve setting, convert curves. Let us first look at the curve settings here. So under the curve settings, so you can select the curve type. So the curve type, you can have it as circular, symmetric, or parabolic. So parabolic curve is normally in the vertical alignment, we use the parabolic curve. So leave it like that. The curve length, you can choose to use the curve length or the K value. So let's leave it as curve length. So we are not going to change so much on this. So this is for pressed curves, sag curves. If you want to make any changes, you can make them from here. But let's just press OK and we accept the defaults. From here, you can, like we did in the horizontal alignment, you can always just hover your cursor here and see what each of those represents. So you can insert a PVI, which is a point of vertical intersection. You can delete a PVI, you can move it, and then here you have an option to draw a tangent. You can click on the drop down to see the different options available. You have a fixed, floating, and free tangent. We saw what each of these can mean. Then you also have an option for drawing curves. So we still have more other options. We can have an option to delete an entity. Then we also have the grid view. The rest of them, you can explore them more on your own later on. But let's just use a few of them. So we are going to draw the design profile. So still, before you draw the design profile, you need to first look at the existing and see portions where you can have straights or tangents. see portions where you can have curves, and then you plan very well before you even start. So I can see that somewhere here I can have a straight, then I can have maybe a curve around here, and I can have a straight somewhere here, and so on. So you need to plan and see that your design comes out the way you want it to be. So let us start. So we can start by having a tangent somewhere around here. Let us start by having a straight portion around here. So choose fixed tangent, 2 points. Now, one thing you have to take note of is that your design profile should start from the starting point here, and it should also touch the end point of the existing. Otherwise, we shall have challenges when you are designing our corridor. So let us first have a straight portion around here. Let's have it maybe up somewhere around. Let's have it up somewhere there. And then we see. So this is not fixed. You can actually choose to first pause this video and try to explore the different methods of drawing this. We have actually seen most of this when you are creating the horizontal alignment. So you can first pause the video and try to design it your own way. But let me try to design it in this way. Then you can also design it your way, and then we see how we go about it. So I'm going to first draw the straight portions, then I'll add in the curves later on. So let me have another tangent around here. So I'm going to choose to have a tangent somewhere from let me start it from here. And my tangent is going to come up to somewhere here. I can modify this later on if I need to, but for now, let me just have it up to somewhere there. Let me escape, and then we are going to add in the curves after drawing the straight portions. So you can actually use this method of tangent with curves so that the curves just come in an easy way. But I feel this would be a bit better if I draw it like this. So I'm going to have another straight portion around this part here, but let me choose a fixed tangent of best fit. So when I choose a fixed tangent of best fit, it's going to prompt me to either use Kogel points for entities or by clicking on the screen. So I'm going to choose this option because right now I don't have Kogel points to use. So I'm going to choose by clicking on the screen and then click OK. So we are going to select points about which you want to draw the line of best fit. So I want my line of best fit to be drawn. Let me start from around there. So I'm going to keep on picking these points so that Civil 3D draws for me the line of best fit. So let me just keep on clicking on these points. I want to balance this so that my design is somehow economical. We don't want to have too much points where we have too much cut and then points where we have too much fill. So this is what I have at the moment, and I think it is somehow okay. So if I'm satisfied with what I have on my screen, I can just press enter. So let me press enter to accept that. So I'm going to accept this, and then we can have another straight portion from this point down this side. Let us still choose to use, so when you click here, it will automatically give you the last option that you used. And then we are going to say by clicking on the screen, click OK. So we are going to have another tangent. So I'm going to keep on clicking on these points. And if you feel you're satisfied with that, you can go ahead and just accept that. You can try to alter this a bit. All right, I think this is good for now. So I can accept that and press enter. So don't worry about this. We are going to join this with curves. We saw how we can add in curves. So lastly, we are going to have a straight portion around this point here. You can even use a different method, but for me, let me just use this up to the end by clicking on screen. Okay. So I'm going to have it from here. I want to have it here. But this may not be. Let me just escape. I want to use a different method, because if I use a tangent of best fit, it may not touch to the last point. I wouldn't want to have a road which has something like a jump at the end of it. I want it to touch to the existing ground. So this method may not be suitable for you for drawing the last entry and the first entry. So let me change the method to something like fixed tangent 2 points. So let me just draw a tangent from here. I want it to touch to the last point so that I don't have something like a jump, something which is not right. So let me just have it up to, just make sure you have something which is somehow economical. You shouldn't have points where you have too much cut and too much fill. Let me just have it just somewhere there. Click escape. So we are going to now to add in curves to our design. So you can see that the difference between these two here is going to be a fill. At some point here, it's going to be a cut. So make sure your design is somehow economical. You shouldn't have something that is whereby there's too much cut, too much fill, and at the same time, you should fulfill the design criteria so that you respect the minimum curve values and the minimum curve lengths which are provided in the design criteria we are using. Remember, we are using the default H2 design criteria, but we saw how we could modify, and we have our own design criteria file. So let's go ahead and try to add in curves. Maybe before I draw the curves, I want to first try to modify some of these tangents so that they fit into what I exactly want them to be. I can try to, let me first try to extend this tangent so that it reaches the other side. So before I add in my curves, I want first to adjust my tangents so that they satisfy what I want them to be. So let me first try to extend this one. I'm going to use the grips to edit them. Let me try to stretch this one up to somewhere there. So let me stretch it up to somewhere there. And then let me stretch back this up to somewhere just there. you can try to put this point somewhere a bit up. So I'm just using the groups to edit this. And then also here we can try to have this, let me set this back a bit somewhere there. Then I try to bring this. So, so this is what I have. So if you feel satisfied with the way how your tangents have been laid, we can now go ahead and create the curves. I can try to change this PVI to a different position, like somewhere there. You can try to adjust this until when you feel like you're satisfied with the design you're having. You really don't have to do exactly the way I'm doing it. You can do it your own way as long as you feel it is good for you. So right now, I can go with this, but on a real project, you might have to adjust this a bit further so that you have really what you need. So next, I'm going to add curves at all PVIs. So I'm going to include my curves at all points of intersection, starting from here. So I'm going to choose a free vertical curve parabola. So let us choose a parabolic curve. So parabolic curves are normally used in this vertical alignment. So it's going to prompt us to select the first entity, then the next entity, and then it will prompt you to enter the curve length. So the first curve length, let me enter something like 100 meters. Let me just entering 100 meters. I want to see what it will look like. So this is how curve it has been inserted properly. Let's first go to the next. So at the next point, you're going to enter another curve around here. So select the first entity, then you choose the next entity. Then we shall be prompted to enter the curve length. Let me still use 100 meters. So this is going to be my curve at that point. Then at this point, it is not practical for you to have to break the gradient just like this by connecting two tangents. At least whenever you're connecting the tangents, you should have a curve in between them. It is not practical for you to let it be like this. How will vehicles move past this point? So let's select the first entity, then the next entity, press enter, then I didn't enter the radius, but I'm going to adjust that later on. Let me first finish with the command. I'm going to come back to that and change it. So the first entity here, the next entity, then the curve length. The curve length, let me use something like, let me say 80 meters. Press enter. So I'm going to press escape once, then remember, maybe let me first talk about this. In case you have exited this and you still want to edit your profile, you can just come and you click on that. You get the contextual ribbon, then you click on geometry editor to have your geometry editor back, and then make sure the profile you're editing is the roadway design profile. So we can go ahead and try to change this. There was a warning somewhere here. Let me pass over my cursor there. So we are seeing that the current K value is 7, but the minimum K value for passing sight distance is 30. So we need to adjust this, but we can easily adjust this in the grid view. So how do you get the grid view? Just like for the alignment, just click on this last icon here. It will give you the grid view, so you can edit the entities from the grid view. So when you click on that entity, which is the entity with that warning, we can change the K value. So we can see the K value has been violated. The current K value we have is 7, but the minimum for passing sight distance around here is 30. So we need to change it. So we're having let us change this K value to, let us just give it the minimum, which is exactly 30. And so that warning will now disappear. All right, so let me close this. And so this is the design we are having. So if you are not satisfied with this, you can still go ahead and try to design it more and more until a point when you feel like, yeah, you're satisfied with what you have. So, but for now, this is what I'm having. This is now our design profile. Starting from here, you have to ensure that your design profile touches the beginning and the end of the existing. Otherwise, you not get what you want. Make sure it touches the beginning and the end. All right. So after ensuring that, we are good to go. So we can have this for now. This is just for planning purposes. So you shouldn't worry so much about this. But in your design, you can really go on and adjust this. You can use the grips and try to edit those grips and up to the point when you have what you need. You can alter the curve length by using this. If this is a curve, you can see at this point we have a curve. So you can change the curve length. You can alter the curve length by holding this grip and then you move it around. So let me try to increase the curve length here up to that point. You can change it. You can change the position of the PVI by holding this grip and then you move it around. You can try to touch those different grips and you edit this alignment to fit in your needs. But for now, let's go with this. I'm satisfied with that. Maybe the last thing I want to talk about are the data bands down here. So these are the bands we are having down here. So you can see that what you are having on the left-hand side is the value of the elevation of the existing profile. And then what you have on the right-hand side should be the value on the design profile. However, when you look at this, you can see that the value on the left and the right are the same values. So something should be changed so that we can have our design elevations on the right hand side. So how can we do that? So you just have to click click on this profile view. Then after clicking on the profile view, let's first exit this geometry editor. Click on the profile view, then profile view properties. So in the profile view properties, there's somewhere where you see the bands. So we are interested in editing this. So currently we have this band type profile data. So when you move this side, you see somewhere you will find profile 1 and then profile 2. So profile 2 and 1 are now the same thing. That's why we are having the same values. So we need to change profile 2 to the design profile, which is roadway design profile. So after changing that, just click on OK, and you see your changes taking place. So at this point, at chain edge 20, the existing elevation is 1173, and the design elevation, which is the blue color here, it is 1174. So meaning we shall have to fill somewhere around here, we shall have to cut somewhere around here, we shall have to fill, cut, and so on. So it is always a good practice to ensure that you don't have too much cut, too much fill, because your design may not be economical. But for now, this is just for a beginner project. We can first leave it at this. So I think what we have done in this video is just enough to get us started. So we have successfully designed our profile in this video. Let us move on. We shall move on to the next video where we shall design the offset alignments. If you have found this video helpful, make sure you subscribe, like, and also share with your friends so that they don't miss out. Thank you for watching. Let's meet in the next video.